Today, the car we are featuring, I saw at the local car show on Monday nights. This is a 1978 Pontiac Grand Safari wagon. But before we take the tour, welcome to What It's Like. This channel is more than just walking around a car with music. This channel, we do a deep dive into what these cars were like. We feature the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that are off the beaten path. If that sounds like a channel that you'd be interested in watching, subscribe. Hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. By 1978, Pontiac offered a plethora of different car options. These aren't in any particular order, but they offered the Grand Prix, Firebird, Bonneville Brougham, Bonneville, Catalina, Grand Le Mans, Grand Am, Sunbird, Phoenix. I think that's all of them, but like I said, they offered a lot of different models by 1978. And then they offered the Safaris. They made a Catalina Safari, a Sunbird Safari, which is totally different than any other Safari, a Le Mans Safari, and then at the top of the heap was the Grand Safari. The Grand Safari was made from 1971 to 1978. It was the top of the line. It was made in two generations. The first generation was from 1971 to 1976. Second generation was 77 and 78. In 79, the Grand part of the Safari was renamed to Bonneville Safari. Little bit of a side note, the Grand Safari wagons came with the wood grain side paneling, simulated wood, and they came without it. So it is possible to get a Grand Safari that doesn't have wood paneling. For the second generation, starting in 1977, the Pontiac Grand Safari was redesigned and it used a downsized GM B-body platform. Downsizing of the B-body platform resulted in reduced wheelbase, going from 127 inches in the first generation down to 115.9 inches. While we're talking about specs, might as well just go through all of them. The Grand Safari wagon was 215.1 inches long, 80 inches wide, 57.5 inches tall, and rode a wheelbase of 115.9 inches long. It weighed 4,122 pounds, went 0 to 60 in 15 seconds with the base engine. Top speed with the base engine was 100 miles per hour, could get up to 17 miles per gallon. Price, $6,319, which is equivalent to you spending $28,328.50 in the year 2022. Designed by Bill Mitchell. Moving on to engines. 3 engines on offer. The base engine was the 301 V8, 4.9 liters, made 140 horsepower, 235 foot-pounds of torque, with a bore of 4 inches and a stroke of 3 inches. It was fed with a 2-barrel carburetor. Optional engine, 350 Pontiac V8, 5.7 liters, made 155 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. Bore was 3.88 inches and a stroke of 375 inches. The last optional engine is actually an Oldsmobile engine, the 403 V8, 6.6 liters. It made 185 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque with a bore of 4.12 inches and a stroke of 3.75 inches. Transmission was a 3-speed TH400 automatic. Pontiac, being different, used a unique rear suspension with multi-leaf springs instead of the coil springs that all the other large car manufacturers were using at the time. So just check out this door panel. This nicely padded material here. It might be vinyl, it might be leather, but it's got padding underneath it. This is the door handle. This is the armrest, which you could also use as a door handle if you wanted to. This is the door handle to get out, and just notice how they put all this chrome around it. Got 4 window switches and the door locks. This controls the mirror. And just notice the doors are all framed in. One other thing I want to show you. Check out this door handle. It's got wood graining on the door handle itself. On to the button switches and knobs, starting all the way to the left. Wiper controls, push in for the wash feature. Just below that are the headlights. 3 square pods sit in front of the driver. First gauge on the left-hand side has a speedometer in both miles per hour and kilometers. Also, there is an odometer in the center. In the center gauge, there is a clock. At the bottom is the gear selection, which reads park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, and low. Last square pod has 1 gauge for the fuel. The rest are lights, generator light, oil, water. 4-way hazard lights are located right of the steering wheel column just before the ignition switch, moving towards the center of the dashboard. 2 switches at the top. The one closest to us is for the rear window. The second is for the rear defroster. Moving down, climate controls. Moving down in the center of the dashboard is the radio with the radio controls. And this one has a cassette player, which was a pretty big deal. In the comment section below, why did the 8-track not last as long as, say, the cassette? The cassette lasted like decades, and the 8-track seemed like it only lasted 5 or 6 years. I could be wrong, but in the comment section below. All right, so that's the over the hood view. This is how much space I have. Had lots of headroom in this car. Lots of room underneath the steering wheel as well. Just check out these. There's no vanity mirror. There's a vanity mirror on this one, and a nice rear view mirror. Notice this has the vents coming out of the dashboard. The ashtray is located here. All right, coming back here to the rear door. This door is a lot like the front door, only it's in the back. Ashtray and both armrests. Just check out this interior though, it's so nice and plushy. And this is how the seat belts were. And back to the door panel. This is the door handle to get out, armrest, door handle to pull the door shut. This is for the windows. And notice the windows only go down part way. This is where the gas goes, right there. All right, so coming to the rear back here, this is really interesting. You could open this tailgate 2 ways. Open it like this, swinging door style, and just notice like how much space you have back here. It's got 3 rows of seats, and it's all nicely carved out here for your feet. Have ashtrays back here for the passengers in the rear. Gotta have ashtrays. Everybody needs ashtrays to smoke their freaking lungs out.
Right.
What's up?
Well, actually, you know, it ain't that bad.
Or you could open it like this. So that's really cool. On then to the pros and cons. I couldn't find any pros and cons on this vehicle, so I made my own. The pros: plushy interior, nice tailgate options such as opening from the side or pulling it down. 3 rows of seating with the seats folded down, can haul 4x8 sheets of drywall plywood. It all fits. The cons: 301 V8 doesn't like to be beat on. Some say one of the worst V8s ever made. If you would like to get in touch with me for any reason, leave a comment in the comment section or join the What It's Like Facebook group, which I will link in the description. The What's It Like Facebook group, there's no obligation to join. If you want to join, it's cool because we're trying to build a car community of people who love cars. If you have rides that you want to share your rides on there. It's great. It's like a virtual car show almost. So, a new part of the video before we sign off is Name That Tune. First person to name the band and song title in the comment section will be pinned to the top of the comment section. Leaves are falling all around. Time I was on my way. But still, I'm much obliged. Such a pleasant stay. Now it's time for me to go. That autumn moon lights my way. Now I smell the rain, and with it pain. and it's headed my way. I apologize that I haven't sang in forever, but I thought that this would be a really cool part of the video because then it'll get music from the time period in your mind. This was a 70s song. This is a 70s car. That's all I'm going to give you. Until next time, toodaloo!